Welcome back. Hello everyone. It is 24-minute afternoon today, the 24th day of September 2025. We are recording live Wednesday. So this is basically who I am. I am basically the subject of my first name, last name right here, Mr. Al-Shihabi. So my name is AJ, right, aka Ahmed Jr. And essentially this is the court file number that I have received concerning my condo at the property of question at 3415 Uplands Drive, Ottawa, Ontario, K1 Victor and Nancy 3. So basically I received that some times ago, and of course I'll provide all the documentation. This is basically what I'm saying. The old city book register, south, and apparently I have a court date under some sort of mortgage act, which last I checked I have no outstanding contract on mortgage agreement between myself and the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, CIBC. So, and again, as you can see, they want me to go and appear before the court in Belleville, whereas my hometown is in Ottawa, Ontario. Go figure. My home branch has always been at South Keys, and basically shopping center right here at Bank. I believe it's 2202 Bank Street. Anyways, and now we have, so this is what we call a civil claim, and this is the, what you see, the file number, the dossier, right? And this is basically the court of jurisdiction. In this case, it's the sum of essentially they are looking to seek monetary. It doesn't really show here, right? It's I checked on the actual website. There's a website you can go to, and if you have yourself registered with an email address, you can simply type the information, first name, last name, and you will get any sort of civil and criminal litigation lawsuits against you, the subject, the accuser, the defendant, if you are just a civil claim. So, and that's again pending a public inquiry, because I'm not walking away from any liabilities. I understand fully my terms and conditions stipulated in the contract. I have lost a check since 2012, a home equity line of credit, not a mortgage. That mortgage had ceased to exist since my amicable divorce agreement with my ex, because clearly I am now also appearing, and I have to have been released from a detention center here in Quebec, Hull, right? City of Gatineau, Hull area, and I had to get my mother and my sister essentially to get me released from being unlawfully detained and arrested on allegation, which again I do not consent to, which I have not had a chance to even basically challenge in court, because default judgment, when last I checked I had an amicable divorce agreement with the defendant. I'm going to have to show the defendant. This is check defendant, because here we are going through unnecessary court motion. This is my ex-wife. So she is going to be the defendant of this lawsuit with her legal counselor that she had unlawfully, unilaterally, perhaps unlawfully solicited, right, to modify otherwise amicable divorce agreement, where I had pledged with her previously to the unlawful restraining order and modification of otherwise amicable divorce agreement. On the December the 1st was the restraining order, By the 3rd, I had received an email. On the 5th, I had a court date to appear before Supreme Court of Justice to stand and defend otherwise an amicable divorce agreement. Yeah, there was no jurisdiction. There was no reason whatsoever. We had an amicable divorce agreement. We had, been in a committed relationship for over 14 years. No matter what happens, a child and a father cannot be deprived of their natural bond. A child, you wouldn't appreciate it if I deprived you from your own child. Let alone be complicit and responsible for, basically obstruction of justice and being complicit where you're now fabricating evidence. What do you have against me? Why marry someone for 14 years if it wasn't for the fact, 2 nights before the wedding, you are on your knees begging for us to get married because, first court, not the court, the first, church denied our whole union, and I honored and respected your belief as a born Catholic. I just happen to be a born Muslim, no problem. I mean, there's not an issue about a faith, interfaith, interculture. I have shown you nothing but love and compassion and respect, and I stood for you, and my record speaks for itself. We all have, so to speak, our moments, but in the grand scheme of things, I stand by my words, everything I say. So, yes, this is kind of where we are today, thanks to your ignorance of the law, because I came to essentially, talk to you in good faith, and I thought, I was hoping that I would be proven wrong, that it would not be you who would, essentially initiate a restraining order against me, because here I was at the school board, Western Quebec School Board, where our daughter, right, our daughter and my daughter, my sole child daughter, attends school at South Hall Elementary School. And I had just so happened to have received 3 email notices on the 11th, 19th, and 26th, I believe, of November. Again, public inquiry pending, with the dates and the records and the evidence that I, as a father, would have to consent for the school board, which hand-picked my daughter on recommendation. A requisition was made by no other than the principal himself, Monsieur Eric Tremblay. And now I am being contacted by an agent of the Western Quebec School Board by the name of Hannah Altinas, right? And again, I have the record, I have the voicemail. This is how I was actually able to verify and check my personal email, because as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing that required my attention for, if anything that has or involves my daughter, just like she had with her teeth, I had to consent, sign, if I agree or not. Same thing in this case, we both as a parent had the agreement, amicable divorce agreement, because we knew better as parents, responsible parents, that, it's the well-being and to safeguard and, basically protect and cherish these moments. Not so that now you go and breach that trust and, you go and act in bad faith and against the stipulation and the terms and the condition that we have agreed on based on you seeking divorce. No problem, seek divorce. And hallelujah, happy to you. But you have to, again, abide by and the terms and the condition. So I believe I have been more than acting in good faith, coming forward, and you've got more than you deserve, truly. But that's fine. You have your assessment of what age it is, and Julio was with you, and we have the collage and the pictures, and the only thing is you have not accepted me and my background and my culture, and perhaps anything about to do with the subject of Ahmed, right? AJ, Ahmed Jr. But nonetheless, my mother is here. She always prays for me, right? So she doesn't like to be seen. That's fine. So here we are. This is basically a verbal and a video so-called, right? Recording of my application to appear before Supreme Court of Canada within 48 hours under emergency, right? So it's an urgent matter to safeguard and protect the well-being of the human lives at risk, right? And at risk of prolonged suffering and emotional mental distress, and also undue physical bodily harm. Look, I'm the evidence. I'm speaking, as well as extreme financial hardship and stress, and just for the basic, right? The basic pursuit of love and happiness. I'm a solopreneur, and I have my business, and here we do business. You see, you like what you hear, you trust. There's a trust, and you build trust. I myself, I'm the brand of the business. 613 Solar. That's my social media again, and I've been doing this for far longer than what an unlawful court would demand and request that I refrain from social media. Well, I live in a digital world. I'm the engineer. This is my skills, and I've been doing this for the last 2 years now, almost. You're not going to stop me now suddenly. I did nothing wrong. Perhaps you should have come forward with clear intention after you have acting in bad faith for the first time, second time, third time. Now it's the fifth time. This is it's like you can't. It's just unbelievable. Like, this is despicable. I mean, just inhumane. Why? Again, I have my degree, Aerospace Electronic System Design Engineering, class 2009, with a wide range and diverse experience, across different, verticals and right, market verticals and industries, application domain. So now, of course, we just talked about the two Quebec related and the Supreme Court, because suddenly I also have this promise, because last I checked with respect to this file number, I have to double check my record as well, because suddenly I have a court date that has been cancelled. It was supposed to commence tomorrow, the 25th of September 2025, and at least the transcript on the December the 12th, that's the day I was released the third time around, after being held, and have missed my court appearance to defend and stand for my right as a natural father, and not consent to the unlawful lower court order to modify otherwise amicable divorce agreement, because now then the lower court are complicit to getting my restraining order, and then that is presented as facts or evidence manufactured to the to the superior court judge, which has already been rubber stamping. Well, the defendant is not there to defend himself or defeat judgment. The further demonstration of being outside the law, so to speak. Well, no, I'm not. You had me in jail. I repeatedly told you that I had a court case on the 5th. I was in the middle of writing my email in response to unlawful, because I have no consent. The avocate that my ex-wife had chosen and selected once she decided to no longer, due to irreconcilable difference, that's fine. We met in an amicable way, in a beautiful way, and we can depart the same way. You're not obligated to spend your life with me. But last I checked, in the Christian belief, we got married in church. Well, till death parts us, right, away. So I'm not the one who is operating outside of my rule of the law, and whether it's a civil code, constitutional, common law, whether it's natural law, as a father, as a human being, to go and pursue life and happiness. It's fundamental, unalienable natural rights and freedom. I'm not against if I've done something that why after 14 years you're going to tarnish and defame me and stab blankly in the heart, right? Our daughter was born at the exact same day we first met. Remember, the 25th day of January, exact same day we met 7 years later, right? So I'm not upset. There's no reason for me to be upset with you as a human being, as a person. You're still the mother of my child. But now you're in breach of trust, and for that reason, it's not rocketry. I'm not defaming anything. I'm just speaking my facts, just like I'm giving a statement before I have to write a 10-pager or what have you. I can just record myself and achieve the same thing in a much more natural, raw way, and I'm just speaking my mind and my heart and my soul, and and I have the right, just like you have the right to go about choosing your life and who you want to be with, and not be deprived of the ability to work, and that's your choice. I'm working as well as we speak. So your ex is a genius, and you know it. The graduate of Aerospace Electronic System Design Engineering, class 2009, with over 15 years of experience in the high-tech startup world here in Canada. I left the corporate world to start my own business, not so that you file for divorce. It's your prerogative. I had a plan. You did not agree to the terms and conditions, fine. But I don't force you, and you can't force me. It's that simple. We come in peace and we live in peace. We live in peace, and that's simple. And that's the Palestinian way of living. Last I checked, you have what, second generation, third generation Palestinian and leader in El Salvador. Remember where you come from, right? There's a reason why you were born first generation in Canada, because you had your parents. If it wasn't for your parents, had to escape the Civil War. The same thing happened to me. I was displaced. My ancestor and my grandfather had been displaced from our indigenous land in Palestine, the Tabriz, right? It's from there. And I shared with you a lot of the historic, and we watched a lot of things together, and I can't control my heart. I can control my actions. And not once I've done anything to suggest that I'm a person of public safety risk, not to mention tarnishing and defame and borderline character assassinate me, both on social media, LinkedIn, from 0 to 300,000 views before poof, right? I get to be banned. No problem. You don't know that. Well, now you know. You're hearing. I have the receipt, the document, the proof. And I still have this. At the end of the day, you can take anything, but you can't take what I have, and which is unalienable to me. It's you cannot. It's inalienable to all of us. So you cannot just willy-nilly force your prejudice, discrimination, in an act of basically aggression towards a man of the land. Happens to be a born refugee, second generation born refugee. I came stateless because my father, we did not come as refugees. We came as under skilled worker immigration visa. Well, yeah, my father. You respect him so much. You respect him so much that you have deprived him from his own granddaughter, right? And the rest of the family. Okay, well, if you have anything against the subject of the AG, which again, last I checked, that amicable divorce agreement, you went ahead and it's a breach of trust. So in breach of trust case, well, contract is void, and I demand justice. So you are now, unfortunately, a part of the accused party. So party AJ and party B. For yourself, liable, you are going to be named personally liable on this, public trial with the jury before the Supreme Court of Canada, along with the federal, provincial, government of. You have federally government of Canada, and provincially Quebec, Ontario, and as well as Alberta, and with all the arm's length agencies involved in the events that has transpired, and essentially the tyranny and systemic prejudice and discrimination and inhumane treatment, social profiling, you name it, right? And why does my mother have to endure at her age the pain of her child being thrown in jail without a just cause, knowing her son who he is? You can't take my smile away. You tried, you broken my tooth, cracked it. It's not like you cracked it, because you punched me. No, you cannot lay your hand on me. This is the best you can do. But when I'm on the ground and you kneecap me and use excessive force on the 17th of November 2023, where, my teeth against the floor, ceramic, and then I sustain a cracked tooth, right? Or, time. What happens? It's cracked now. The crack widens and it falls. It falls in a matter of time if you do not take corrective measures. But again, you have to go back to why it was broken in the first place. Caused no harm. So, excessive police brutality and overreach, power abuse. Simply why? I speak to me in English. If I don't speak French, last I checked, I live in Canada. I've been here for over a quarter of a century. 1999, October 26. I've gone through the life motion, if you will. I'm still going through it. So why do I have to suddenly be quiet and not talk about it now? Look, I'm accustomed to being on social media and speaking engineering and offering consultation free of charge. Not because it's free of value. No, it's how you build trust. You marketing. You provide information that people can resonate and understand, and understand that you're a subject matter expert. Like I said, you don't have to be a lawyer, but It's very simple. Laws are simple, right? All bound by laws. Hierarchy. So a foundation, if you draw a triangle, that's a foundation, right? Municipal, right? Towns and what have you. So township, municipal rules and regulation, which are nothing but policy enforcement of the provincial acts or legislature, so to speak, assembly, right? Legislative assembly, and then which are subject to the basically laws of the land, which is the supreme law of Canada, in this case the charter, right, or the Constitution of 1982, which has two parts. Part one, essentially the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedom, which essentially what the bylaw, and hence part two onward, the section of the Constitution is to safeguard and protect. Remember, safeguard and protect. This is why it's a safeguard measures, because we are talking fundamental, unalienable, unmutable, natural, fundamental natural rights and freedom, integral to the well-being of every single human being. Not only humans, also animals. So, criminal code, read that, and then once you understand punishable offense, indictable offense versus summary conviction, there's no reason for you to be incarcerated without a just cause. So, anyways, that's it for now. It's 21 minutes into the video, so alhamdulillah, it's exciting time to be in. So this is basically got all the information you need. The only thing missing, I believe, is the Superior Court of Justice decisions. So the original one, which was the amicable divorce agreement, as well as the unlawful modified, which was obtained past the unlawful restraining order and default judgment against my subject, the defendant of A.J. Ahmed Jr., right? And pay close attention. So this is in Ottawa, right? So this is the name in Ottawa. You see the dash, right? Date of birth. And in Canada, Quebec, right? So we have basically my name, but as you can see, whereas here it's no hyphen, right? So now they're ping-ponging me, and in another case they may just write my name without any spaces, or so I'm claiming the name for all these entities because I am the sole chief executive and director of these legal estate registered in the names accompanied here and right, or here below, because it's going to be below. And yeah, let's go through the court motion. I mean, I'll be more than happy to subject myself to house arrest at the choice of a province of my liking, and I do have ideas. Yes, so I'd be more than happy to go to Alberta, back to Brooks, exactly at the hotel that I had stayed at the day's end in Brooks, and help my community and promote my business. On-demand energy, right? Maha Kakaha, black magic. It's not black magic, it's a blue magic box. So it's going to be, my box that generates 24 hours, 7 days, 364 days a year. Clock, right? On the clock. No consumable, no grid. It's off grid. It's up to 7.2 kilowatt, and yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I believe I can build such a device within 12 weeks or less, and I should be allowed to go and pursue life and happiness. And therefore, I'm demanding a court injunction against all unlawful release order from lower courts, right? As well as any civil and criminal charges in nature before public trial with the jury at the Supreme Court of Canada. I have my witnesses, and I will be sending an email with the link to this video as you are listening. And yes, demanding a court injunction and also declare an emergency, right, due to the nature of this matter, which involves not only the subject of Ahmed Jr., aka, right, AJ Ahmed Jr., and it involves the well-being of my immediate family members, which I assume to be the sole entrusted chief and clan leader of Clan Al-Shahabi. So again, I have my individual estate, Ahmed Al-Shahabi Inc., So all assets and liability to be transferred securely from the trust account with the social insurance number 527-514-186 to my first name, last name, Inc. It's very simple. You have that at the Scotiabank. I need the court injunction against all the unlawful release of orders, and I need a court order that basically allows me to go to the bank and present the evidence. So they have now a court order that the trust must be established in my name, Inc. Secure transfer of all assets, physical and virtual. So I'm putting my body and also in an exhibit of all the people that I will be entrusted with, a tribe trust, as well as my close family, friends, and any beneficiary. The minute you are interested in this technology that I am developing, so to speak, and building to demonstrate, it's a very simple contract, social contract, public offer, $100. So I'm here selling my product and services, $100 security deposit, which goes into the group trust, right? So I will also be demanding that I have a group trust that every single participant essentially is a beneficiary. So when so low risk, zero risk, no obligation. $100 basically gets you a security deposit, so you can basically get a chance to buy the box. We will build the box for you at no cost. We ship it to you. $10,000, $100. So $100 is my security deposit to go about and collect money from, 303 people, right? Early supporters and early clients and backers, if you will, and those who want to experiment and do things and see things do work. I'll be doing the engineering and design and build of this device in 12 weeks or less. Meanwhile, I am at my basically HQ in Brooks, Days End. So I'm on business. I'm going for business, and this is going to be at the expense of the federal government of Canada, as well as the provinces of Alberta and the city of Brooks. Simple. And within 12 weeks or less, we are going through the court motion. I'm sure this case is not going to be resolved in 1 hour, 2 hours. We have to go through the events and the facts, and it might drag on. So, as I go and continue the court motion, right, over video as we speak, we don't need to be present in the courthouse. We have the technology, and we can have an injunction, and basically I'm going to Alberta. There's no risk for me to approach my ex-wife. She's the defendant, so great. Well, I'm seeking full custody of my child and to go to Alberta. I have not seen my child for over a year. Now my ex-wife is more than welcome to come and join us at a suite of her own, independent suite. Again, the people are gonna be called. I'm taking myself, my family, and those people who are going to be witness. Well, why should my mother stay here and worry about her son? She can be my guest. Personal travel expense. I have a court matter, business matter, expense. You're paying at cost, all things. So I'm just exercising my right, and I'm within the rule of the law to demand what I'm demanding. Again. So this is where I am, and I've made my intention very clear. So I'll build the device. $100. It's as low as $1, basically, to be just an early supporter, backer, if you will. Early adopter or client. $100. They get you 100 share. Each dollar is a share, face value. That's it. And my cost is your cost, unless you want to buy after the fact. And you can buy at market value, 3x or $30,000 for the industrial application, and 2x for commercial. For the residential application, I will keep it at $10,000 because you can just simply, get access to the blueprints, and you can go procure and build it yourself. I will give you that for $10,000, and I'll help you with the logistics and shipping, and you can build it yourself. If you're an early supporter, well, I will build it to you at no cost. Or early supporters, you'll secure your spot. If you're not, and you choose not to participate in this, that's no obligation. It's a low-risk investment, no-brainer. I mean, nothing to lose. $100 money back guarantee is going to a security deposit in basically a trust account that you, as a beneficiary, will get your money back. So, and that is the difference between a trust versus a checking account or a business account. So, I do have the business, of course, but now I need, the agreement in place so I can actually assign myself as the sole director and chief executive officer of this incorporation that I have as Smart Nancy Victor Martinez Analytics Incorporation. So, Smart MVM Analytics Inc. Federal Incorporated in Canada. So, I can do business with anywhere in Canada. And I also have the same process, if you will. I have a similar business in the state of Wyoming, USA. So, Quantum, Energy Research, right? LLC. So, QX Energy 2.0 LLC. Well, I am the sole director, and I have a business in Canada, incorporated federally, and I have a business in the USA that allows me to conduct business and do business with those who want to do business. I'm here for peaceful declaration and basically reclaiming my name and clearing my name from the unlawful accusation and defamation against the subject of myself, AJ Ahmed Jr. So I showed you the documents before in the order you have, so you understand that essentially the contract is void on many reasons, because there's irregularities and mistakes in the contract, because I do not live at the 16 Walker Road, unit number 42, at my mom's address. That's not my address. I have my own address. So that's why I showed you the first court document, right, with the province of Ontario and CIBC. So let's have a court case before the fact, and until then, we can all agree to have a court injunction and basically provide the safe and secure travel for myself and my family member that wish and choose to come along. However, I'm claiming my daughter, to be returned to her rightful and natural biological father. There's nothing you can do to separate me from my child. And I'm compassionate enough to understand that, yes, I believe she would have more fun and good times with her mother being with us, separate rooms perhaps, but, she stays with her father. And her grandmother, which is my mother, and her her cousin, right, which is my nephew, and her aunt, everybody has a choice. But now I'm offering, a path to reconcile, because remember, it's all about truth and reconciliation. Before the reconciliation takes place, we have to be truthful, and this is kind of where I am, and with my intent, and really, it's not a difficult concept, and I should not be extorted and driven into and coerced into signing agreements, with fear-mongering tactics that, suddenly I will be incarcerated for the rest of my life. On what? What exactly did I commit? 25 years living in the land without any criminal record. Zero. Pristine. Clear. 15 plus years in the high-tech startup, right? Prestigious career. I left behind not to quit and start my own business, which I have the motion, I have the evidence, I have everything. So yeah, I'll be claiming because my personal laptop has been stolen from the midst of a mosque in Alberta. Alberta Lethbridge, and I made a police report. So that is a minimum $1 trillion worth of data and what have you. There's everything on that, right? So name my price. You either compensate me for the damages that I have sustained. Some of them can be, right? However, some are undue. There's no amount of money that will give me back every single moment that has been robbed away from my life and being with my daughter. Not to mention also to be, forced into, inhumane treatment and just inhumane. So yeah, you gotta have a principle, and you have to stand on 2 feet, triangle. You don't stand on your head, because it might be tiptoeing. You either fall left or right. You can only stand on your head so much. So learn to stand on your 2 feet, and have a backbone. Speak up, because you have just as much of a duty to refuse unlawful order, right? Just as much as to speak against unlawful orders. So everyone is, going to be liable. So thank you for your time. So this will be basically posted and part of application to the Supreme Court of Canada with all the document snapshots, so I don't have to be redundant. To be continued. Cheers. 10 o'clock.